Big Daddy Cool Diesel, the World Wrestling Federation Champion. Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels, the Intercontinental Champion. WWF Tag Team Champions, Yokozuna and Owen Hart. WWF In Your House 3, Tripleheader. All major titles are on the line in a clash of champions. Also in singles action, Savio Vega vs Waylon Mercy, Psycho Sid vs Henry O. Godwin, the British Bulldog vs Bam Bam Bigelow, Razor Ramon vs Dean Douglas, and Hitman Bret Hart, one-on-one with Jean-Pierre Lafitte. The third installment of the WWF's In Your House series begins with a match between Savio Vega and newcomer, Waylon Mercy, aka Dangerous Dan Spivey. Mercy greets Vega with a handshake and starts dancing with him. However, he tries to jump him from behind, but Vega dodges and takes Mercy down to the mat by his arm. The altercation then moves to the floor where Mercy slams Vega and delivers a chop. Once they return to the ring, Mercy applies a cravat followed by a hot shot, then executes a side slam, but misses an elbow strike. However, he quickly responds with a sleeper hold. Vega manages to break free and delivers a bulldog to Mercy, who retaliates with a clothesline and a brainbuster. Vega answers back with a German suplex followed by a wheel kick to secure the victory. Psycho Sid meets Henry O. Godwin in the next match. Both men struggle into the corner and trade blows. Godwin sends Sid to the apron and performs a suplex on into the ring, but he injures his back. This injury prevents him from executing a slam. Sid sends Godwin out to the floor, and DiBiase assaults him, then Sid concentrates on his back. He employs clubbing forearms, Irish whips, and on different occasions, applies a camel clutch. Godwin tries to mount a comeback, but Sid cuts him off. However, Sid fails to connect with a corner charge and Henry responds with punches and a shoulder tackle. He then executes the slop drop but DiBiase drags him out to the floor, interrupting his pinfall attempt. DiBiase interferes again, tripping Godwin, enabling Sid to deliver a leg drop and a powerbomb for the victory. After the match, DiBiase and Sid bicker about who will slop Godwin with his bucket, and Bam Bam Bigelow strikes them while they struggle over it. However, Kama comes to neutralize Bigelow, and he and Sid restrain him. DiBiase threatens to slop Bigelow, but Godwin gets back to his feet. He seizes the bucket and pours slop over DiBiase. The British Bulldog, Davey Boy Smith, takes on Bam Bam Bigelow in the next contest, but prior to the bout, Jim Cornette bickers with Gorilla Monsoon over the main event. Owen Hart is scheduled to defend the tag team titles with Yokozuna, but due to his wife being in labor, he has yet to arrive at the arena. Cornette must find a suitable replacement if Owen is unable to make it. Bigelow unsettles him with shoulder blocks, slams, and hip tosses. The Bulldog regains composure and Bigelow fails to deliver an elbow. Davey Boy counters with chin locks, a suplex, and also executes a low bridge on Bam Bam. However, Bigelow counters and turns the apron suplex around, and follows up with a flying headbutt for a 2 count. When he disputes with the referee, Smith seizes the chance to chop block Bigelow's knee. He spends some time targeting Bigelow's leg and disrupts his comebacks, persisting in his assault. He makes a comeback when Smith fails on a slam attempt. He also deflects Bulldog's sunset flip attempt. Nevertheless, when he fails on a moonsault, the Bulldog retaliates with a flying headbutt and a modified power slam for the win. With Mr. Bob Backlund in his corner, Dean Douglas faces the bad guy, Razor Ramon in the next match. Razor rushes into the ring and establishes dominance with punches and clotheslines. He also incorporates some unexpected arm holds. The two competitors trade reversals until Razor executes a fall-away slam. Douglas responds with a fake-out followed by a sunset flip. He subsequently concentrates on Ramon's back and brings him to the outside, forcefully driving him against the apron, steps, and post. Douglas then applies a bow and arrow stretch, then follows it up with a diving splash. However, Ramon counters a rear chin lock with an electric chair drop. Razor also counters a flying crossbody. Douglas then pulls Razor into the referee. He attempts another diving splash but misses the target, and Razor takes advantage by going for the Razor's edge, but the referee is unavailable. The 1-2-3 Kid shows up and counts a pinfall. Ramon believes he has won until he notices the kid. Ramon becomes furious and pushes Kid out of the ring. Douglas seizes the opportunity with a roll-up for the victory. Razor is annoyed and drags the kid into the ring. They push each other and officials come on the scene to intervene. Razor and the kid shout at one another but ultimately depart. Hitman Bret Hart takes on Jean-Pierre Lafitte in the next contest. Bret opens the match with a suicide dive onto Pierre. Lafitte misses a charge in the corner, allowing Bret to apply an arm hold. However, Lafitte counters with a clothesline and sends Bret into the post. Bret attempts to rally, but Pierre drags him to the floor and slams him into the steps. Lafitte then delivers a spinebuster and a leg drop. He halts another comeback from Bret and executes a flying leg drop. He climbs again, but fails to connect with the cannonball. Nonetheless, he deflects a sharpshooter and throws Bret to the floor, tries a cannonball over the ropes but misses. Bret sends him into the steps and starts his finishing sequence, but Lafitte continuously cuts him off. Lafitte reverses Bret's crucifix into a rolling Samoan drop and attempts to pin Bret with his feet on the ropes. Lafitte responds with a flying headbutt, but misses. Bret shifts into position and applies a sharpshooter for the victory. Finally, the Tripleheader, WWF and Intercontinental Champions, Diesel and Shawn Michaels versus Tag Team Champions, Yokozuna and Owen Hart. Throughout the program, Jim Cornette was seen attempting to negotiate a deal with Sid and Mabel to replace Owen, in case he'd be unable to attend. When the moment arrived, it would be his brother-in-law, British Bulldog, Davey Boy Smith, stepping up to join Yokozuna to defend and challenge for all the gold. Michaels and Smith exchange holds and takedowns. Yokozuna makes his entrance while Michaels prompts him to a sumo contest but slips underneath him. Yokozuna repels both Michaels and Diesel with slams and clotheslines, but Diesel responds with a powerful boot, but Smith strikes him. Shawn then re-enters and executes a flying splash from Diesel's shoulders, but Bulldog and Yokozuna regain control by assaulting him on the floor. Michaels takes an upside-down bump in the corner and a backdrop, and Yokozuna applies a nerve hold, but misses the banzai drop. Diesel now makes his comeback, delivering a snake eyes, running knee, and a side slam to Smith. Then, Michaels and Diesel whip their opponents into one another, but Yokozuna counters a jackknife with a Samoan drop, but Michaels responds with sweet chin music. Bulldog performs the running power slam on Diesel, but Shawn interrupts the pin attempt. Owen Hart then makes his entrance and leaps at Diesel, but Diesel punches and hits him with a jackknife to secure the victory. But how does this really end? Due to the controversial nature of the finish of the main event on In Your House 3, the tag team titles were returned to Yokozuna and Owen Hart the following night on Raw. They subsequently lost them the same night to the Smoking Guns, whom they initially defeated at WrestleMania 11. Also in the aftermath, Shawn Michaels was injured in an outside altercation and sustained injuries which required him to forfeit the Intercontinental title to Dean Douglas, whom he was scheduled to face at In Your House 4, and where Diesel and the British Bulldog would continue feuding, leading to a WWF title match.